Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Amateur Hour Sports for today's Friday Raptors Happy Hour live stream. We are here. Bring you the latest around the Toronto Raptors. Just some thoughts, opinions, news, anything. That's what you get on the Raptors Happy Hour every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Remember, if you enjoy along the way, to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. Like I said, 3 shows like this a week, and when Raptors are playing and the Blue Jays are not in a very pivotal World Series game, I'm live streaming for Raptors games. That means that there will be, unfortunately, no Raptors watch party tonight, Friday. But Game 6, ladies and gentlemen, it feels very surreal to be here. I'm obviously in my Jays gear for this one today. Rally towel on standby. Yeah, it feels extremely surreal to be here. It felt very surreal watching that game Wednesday night as the Blue Jays took Game 5 in LA, took 2 games in LA to bring this back and give themselves 2 chances to win their first World Series since 1993. Man, oh man. You really do gotta cherish these moments. I mean, I think we're extremely blessed to be in a position to be able to feel what we did in 2019. We're extremely blessed to be in a position where we have a chance to feel like that again. I think it's very special. We need to appreciate it. But man, I'm absolutely fired up and also a nervous wreck for tonight's Blue Jays game and potentially for tomorrow's Blue Jays game. Oh, we've got a chance. Let's just go do it. Let's go get the job done. How's everyone's doing? Hope your week was great. Heading into a weekend here. No Halloween gear for me on the stream today. Usually I would do some like Halloween stuff, but I'm leaving shortly after this stream to go attend a in-person watch party, like with some friends, going to watch the Blue Jays at a friend's house. Some friends are showing up, so that should be a lot of fun. Hopefully you've got something planned. It's just promised to be. It could be a special day today. So this is what it's all about, man. You know, I don't know about you guys. I'm 26 years old. I don't know how you are. The demographics and analytics of the channel would indicate that most of you are older than me. Maybe you remember the 1992, 1993 back-to-back World Series championships for the Blue Jays, but that's 32 years is a very long time. You know, it's a very long time. You know, since I've been alive, we've had 2 Toronto teams in their respective finals of the Major 4 North American sports. Obviously, the Argos have won a lot, and TFC have won an MLS Cup, but you got to cherish this, man. This is what it's all about. This is why we do it. This is why we're sports fans. This is what it is all about. This is why we do it, man. So it's special to be in this position, like I said. But a lot of Raptors stuff to get to today. Title of the stream today, the Raptors season isn't over yet. Obviously. Q like to comment, obviously it isn't over yet. They've only played 5 games. No, but certainly for a lot of the fans out there, it kind of seems like it to them that we're cooked and like there's no recovery here. I mean, it could be, but there's a lot of time to figure things out. I'm going to go through what I think needs to happen for the Raptors to bounce back and get things sorted this season. There's going to be a section where I talk about the things that are going to be within their control, stuff they can change immediately, and stuff that is not in their control but hopefully happens and does give them a boost for the rest of the season. We're going to talk a little bit about why some of these problems exist to begin with, and mainly focusing on the personnel issues with the team and how that has not been addressed. That is the goal over the course of the stream today. Well, of course, listening and answering to anything that you may have in the chat for me. Send in your questions. Send in your comments. I love when we have an active chat and I can answer questions, and that can really drive the conversation throughout the stream. That is what I look forward to the most when I do these streams, because you guys make it a lot more fun for me when you do that. So send in your questions, and we'll get them over the course of the stream as well. Let's shout out the people that are joining us in the chat. First of all, Q-Man here, and rocking, I think, a new profile photo as well for today. Hope you're doing well. I myself have made a change recently, as you may know, to the profile. But we also have Tom Graham joining us Saturday morning in Australia. Paradise Lost also. What's going on? Welcome. And hey, Let's give a major shout out to our 12-month member, Gregory, in the chat. Appreciate that a lot. Thanks for joining us. Says, I won't be watching Raptors game tonight, obviously. Neither will I, but we'll check from a secret sports bar location. I will be at a secret friend's house location, and if the Blue Jays win, you'll catch me somewhere on the streets of Toronto. Look for the guy who may or may not have a Diet Coke in his hand. What a day. What a day. What a great day to be a sports fan. Had some troubles today, to be honest. Hopefully this is my bad karma for the day. But I was at the vet just before this with my dog. Been having issues for the last week with their back. We don't know, I have a Basset Hound, and they're very prone to, since they have a long spine and back, they're very prone to back injuries. Had a little bit of a scare with the dog this week. Went into the vet. Hopefully everything is all good. Got to give her some medication before I head out to watch the Jays game today. But yeah, not fun there. Work was okay. Half day for me on Friday. Vet was not fun and not kind to my wallet. Such is life. But hey, again, bad karma out of the way. Let's have a good rest of the evening. And hopefully the pinnacle afterwards. Oh, this could be one of the best days of your life tonight. It could be. This day could turn into one of the best days of your life. Just think about that. Like, what? Top 20? Is that conservative? Top 10? Maybe not top 10. This could be a top 20 day of your life today. Maybe for me. Whew. Anyways, enough of the Blue Jays. This is the last time we'll be previewing Blue Jays action on this channel for who knows how long. Years, maybe. Because Game 6 tonight, Game 7 would be tomorrow. You won't see me until Monday for the happy hour. Actually, that's not true. You'll see me Sunday for the Raptors watch-along. Our lives could be very different when I see us Sunday and Monday. Alamdar joining says, "Oh man, I hope your dogs are." Yeah, hopefully all good. Thank you for the comment. Hopefully all good. I think it should be all good, but just wanted to get confirmation what was going on. I needed some meds. That was kind of the priority of the visit, getting a prescription for some meds, which have been acquired, and hopefully it's anti-inflammatories, which hopefully can start sorting things out over the next week or two. So that is hopefully nothing serious, but doesn't look like it, thankfully. So yeah, how are we feeling, guys? It's been a couple days since that Rockets game. I really don't like the scheduling right now because every Raptors happy hour is slightly before a Raptors game takes place. Excuse me. I prefer having them staggered. So next week we have a Tuesday game, which is a Sunday game, which is great. We can talk about the Sunday game on Monday. And then we have a Tuesday game, which is great. We can talk about the Tuesday game on Wednesday. That's kind of like the ideal schedule framework. And the week after, actually, we have a Tuesday and Thursday game. So that's like the perfection sort of schedule because I'm able to talk about those games on the streams. It's just the week after they'll all line up Monday, Wednesday, Friday, which is bound to happen a lot this season. But every game kind of previews here. So we've had a couple days to let this one settle on the Houston Rockets game. Raptors got kind of, I mean, it wasn't close, really, was it? It was 139-121. It felt like it was close. I think the Raptors made it a 7-point game at one point, but that was like the closest they got. And the Rockets kind of quickly shut the door after that. But it's been 3 straight pretty resounding losses. I know the Dallas game was only by 10, but they were really bad in that game. Milwaukee was kind of close, but it felt like Milwaukee control. That wasn't that bad. It's been like 2 like blowouts in a row and a third like resounding loss in a row. So it's certainly been a difficult run here for the Raptors. And the schedule hasn't been too kind, but Dallas haven't looked good. Like I know Dallas seemed like, you know, the idea is they're decent, but like this is a team that lost. I think they lost by double digits to the Wizards. They barely beat the Pacers, who are not going to be great. They got blown out by the Spurs early season. This is not a great Mavericks team that kind of comfortably beat us. The Spurs are kind of a wagon, so maybe I understand that. I understand that a little bit. And the Rockets are going to be one of the best teams seemingly in the NBA this season. But there's been a bit of a lack of competitiveness, and there's definitely glaring issues that we're we're all seeing with the team at the moment, which is unfortunate. So let's try and dig into what are they to be the ways that the Raptors bounce back, because it's too early to feel this way. Like we're a couple weeks into the season, and I really get hyped up for the start of the season. I really feel energized, like heading into preseason and into the season, and it's just been. It feels like we've gotten deflated, like relatively quickly, which is just the biggest. That's the biggest qualm I have. It's just how quick things have kind of fallen off the rails. Anyways, only 5 games into the season. We've only had 5 games, so obviously there's a long way to go. But as I said there, it does feel like that things have already been deflated for the Raptors season after all the energy going into the season. 3 straight pretty resounding losses, 2 straight blowouts. Morale isn't the highest right now. The energy isn't quite the greatest amongst the fan base, and some people are already saying that the season could be over. I'm not with you on that one there. There's still a lot of games to play, but the Raptors need to make some changes before it is too late. So let's talk about those here. I want to talk about things in their control and things not in their control that hopefully does go their direction. So starting off with the things that are in their control, things that should be amended pretty immediately. And it's a lot of the things that we've already talked about on the channel so far. And I think the biggest thing that's within their control is the defensive preparation for games. The Houston game, it felt better. They were better against Houston. I know they still lost 139 to 121 in that game, but it felt better. It felt like there was more energy there for the team. It felt like there was a little bit more effort being shown for the team, and that was great. But it felt really flat against the Spurs in the 121-103 loss, and it felt extraordinarily bad against the Mavericks. Like, I know they lost by 10. I don't think they got blown out, but they got blown out by Houston. They got blown out by the Spurs. Dallas felt like a blowout, even if the scoreline doesn't suggest it. And Dallas aren't that great of a team this season. Like, the Spurs have been a wagon. The Rockets have been are fantastic, but the Dallas aren't that good. Like, it's 3 pretty comfortable losses in a row for the team, and it just feels like for a bit of it, there's been some under preparation defensively. People are missing rotations. A lot of the times, people are not ready for help defense. People don't understand what their role is defensively, the positions they need to occupy defensively. A lot of that stuff is kind of creeping in, which is a little bit frustrating. So preparation needs to be sorted out a lot better than it has been out the gates to start the season. I think that's kind of first and foremost where I want to take this. But I kind of hinted at it already. The effort also feels like it hasn't quite been there for the Raptors in a lot of settings. And that's on defense, like I said, with missing rotations and, not rebounding. I mean, particularly against the Rockets, not boxing out a lot of times. I know they were undersized and they're big, but boxing out sometimes, like I saw a clip of Immanuel Quickley just watching the ball hanging on the rim, not putting his body against anybody else to box out. Like, there was things they could have done to alleviate some of the issues. Like, especially you're going into a game where you're playing a huge team that rebounds well, that has a lot of size, etc. Like, there should be a bigger emphasis on boxing out and putting in additional work to box out. And I was a little bit shocked from that Rockets game not seeing that level of effort to do that. Like, it should be preached before the game. You need to be way more disciplined than normal on the glass, or we are going to get blown out because of how many extra possessions that this team gets. And that kind of was the case for the Raptors. Offensively, from an effort perspective, I think like a little bit more consistency is needed. I think a little bit more effort to get better shots is needed. Like Immanuel Quickley kind of cleaning this up, but he's not really replacing it with better shots. He's just not shooting as much as some of these floaters he's taking off balance against difficult defenders over a hand. Like, those shots are just not efficient. We can eliminate those. Scottie Barnes in some games is fantastic at attacking the rim, and getting to those spots, getting the best shots up. And then there's like a game against the Spurs where he takes one shot in the paint for the entire game. A little bit of a lack of consistency there. So these are all things that are within our control. The preparation for these games, the work ethic and effort to execute from a preparation standpoint, and the shooting consistency and like the consistency in taking the right shots on the offensive side. Like that's kind of where there is control, and the Raptors can really start to dig themselves out of this 1-4 record. Who knows? The Cavaliers will be a tough game. I know they have people out. Noted in chat, Q-Man says Garland, Mitchell, and Allen are out. If we don't win this game, we're going to be livid. That might be the case, but the Cavaliers are still at home favored by 5.5, 6 points. 6.5, in fact, points now. So, tough game for sure. It could be the Raptors slip into 1-5. Could be them 2-4. Either way, that's not like a tremendous start to this season, whichever way that you spin it. Now, that's stuff that's in their control, but there's also a lot of things that aren't really in their control as much. And the biggest thing that we've really noticed, and everyone has noticed this out the gate, is the health of Jakob Poeltl. Just got a very large contract extension. This year and next year, not making a ton of money. Going to start making a lot of money after that, and it's a bit of a longer-term deal here. Absolutely, to start the season, Jakob Poeltl has looked cooked for the Raptors. He just has. I don't think there's any other way to spin it. He was out of the last game against the Houston Rockets. He's out for this game against the Cleveland Cavaliers while we're doing this live stream here. It's very obvious they do not have a replacement. And it's very obvious that the Raptors are way, way better when he is on the floor. And playing well. Because he hasn't been playing well, and it's been noticeable. Like, there's just nobody else who can perform the role of Jakob Poeltl. The Raptors don't have, like, they're very much lacking size. They don't have any backup rim protection. When Jakob Poeltl's out, they are a worse team. That's been the case for a couple of years now. We need him to be healthy. That's out of our control. Also, stuff that's out of our control, I guess, is within the control of the players. But, like, shot making has been down. Grady Dick has struggled to make shots this season in some spots. Like, I think he had a good game, but he hasn't been consistent. And when Grady Dick's shots aren't falling, his defense is so bad that it's hard to even have him on the floor at all. Immanuel Quickley had an extraordinarily rough start to the season shooting the ball from three. I think he started 2 of 18 from three or something like that. Kind of picked it up the last couple of games, but still, like, the shot making just hasn't been there as much. And those are guys the Raptors have to rely on heavily for shot making. We haven't got a lot of Ochai Agbaji from a three-point shooting standpoint this season. He was a fantastic corner three shooter last season. I think he shot like close to 40% from three last season and was one of the best, again, shooting from the corners. I don't know. Some of that is like within our control. Like, it's the players who have to make those shots. Some of it is like, okay, like, it's just relying on these guys to get it right and make those shots. Maybe some of it as well is getting the right schemes and getting the right plays to get Ochai Agbaji some open threes for the Raptors. A lot of these things can be within control, but part of that is out of their control. So focus on your preparation, your defensive effort, and your work ethic. Focus on getting the right shots. And I think a lot of these things do start to fall into place. But I think the biggest thing beyond our control is that this team relies very heavily on Jakob Poeltl, and you notice him a lot more when he isn't there or when he is there and he's clearly not healthy. It's not like the game when Poeltl's healthy, it seems that the defense is a lot more efficient, and it's so noticeable when he's not there that I think a big thing to start seeing, we need to get him back. Leave him out while he's recovering. I don't want no 60% Poeltl to come back and make it worse. Leave him out. That's a big deal, but focus on the stuff within your control first and foremost. And I think things can start to move absolutely in the right direction. Comment here from Ryan K794 saying, I see trading Grady midseason. I said this as well earlier. I said this right before the season started. Some people didn't particularly like that, but I can absolutely see it. He struggled for consistent minutes to start the season. He was in the doghouse against the San Antonio Spurs. It's just he's not a super consistent shot maker. He can be a little streaky, and when he's not making shots, you cannot play him because he just doesn't give you anything else right now beyond his shooting, because his defense is bad. It's very bad. His offense, like beyond the shooting, it just doesn't feel like there's been much of any progress in the offseason thus far. Like, he exploded out the gates last season and tailed off in the second half of the season. I could see it too. Andre the Gamer says Raptors must-win territory. We're not there yet. 1-5 would be bad, but I don't think we're quite there yet. Memphis haven't been lighting the world on fire or anything. It's a winnable game coming up against them. Hopefully a better game against Milwaukee. I mean, Ryan Rollins has looked great for them. Giannis looked great. Ryan Rollins is looking great. So maybe they're a bit of a tougher team than I thought, but somewhat winnable. And then a road trip. Like, we might be in must-win territory in that Memphis game because, if tough game against Cleveland, which you might lose. Memphis, hopefully you can win at home. Tough game against Milwaukee, but maybe you can win at home. And then 5 straight away games. One of them is Brooklyn. Now, I'll tell you what. You want to talk about must-win games. That is must-win because Brooklyn are awful. Got to win that game. But I wouldn't say must-win territory here for, obviously they have a lot of season. But, from a morale, mental standpoint, it starts to get to must-win probably pretty soon. Uba joining us, one of our 6-month members. Thank you so much. Says, didn't think you'd be on tonight. I'm just on for the happy hour here, 5 to 6 p.m. Eastern. And then I'm heading out to watch the Jays. Yeah, that's not streaming for the game tonight, but I'm here Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5 p.m. for streams like this. And usually I don't have any plans that collide with this, which is great. I often have evening things that come up and I can't do watch parties, but hardly ever does something interfere with a 5 p.m. stream. Maybe some Mondays I might be late at work and then I'll stream at 6 p.m. or something, so long as there's no Raptors game. But for the most part, yeah, I don't see a lot going wrong. So, hanging out with you guys tonight. Keep sending in some questions, and I'll answer them along the stream as we discuss the Toronto Raptors here. But work to be done. Definitely some work to be done for Toronto. What are your plans tonight, everyone? Let me know what you got going on for the Blue Jays. Anything at all? Maybe you don't care about baseball. You're watching the Raptors. Maybe you got plans for the Raptors. Weekend plans. Let me know what's happening. Let me see what I have going on, actually, on my calendar. So, obviously, tonight, watching the Jays. I hope to not be watching them tomorrow, but if I have to, I will be watching them. I don't even know what I'm going to do tomorrow. If Jays win tonight. Tomorrow's not going to be a great day, physically, but I'll be chilling. You know what? Tomorrow's video game day. It looks like I don't have anything planned. I got Premier League in the morning, and then it might just be video game day, which would be sweet. And to not have to stress about the Jays as well throughout that day would be awesome. Sunday, might go do a little bit of apartment hunting in the morning, 1 p.m. NFL. Watching the early window at a friend's place, and then Raptors Sunday evening, if you will, against the Grizzlies, which should be fun. So weekend's shaping up to be pretty good for myself. Uba in chat says watching the game and playing Arc Raiders. What is Arc Raiders? Arc Raiders video game. Interesting. All right, got good reviews. That sounds like a good night. Watch the game and play some video games. I will be, hopefully, on a random street in downtown Toronto with many other Blue Jays fans, but that it's all dependent on the result of the game. You got to climb, you got an absolute boss battle to win this World Series, though. Switching to my Pepsi Zero. Yoshinobu Yamamoto on the mound for the Dodgers. Absolute beast in game 2. Complete game, 4 hits, I think. 1 run. You got to beat the best. To win, you got to beat the best, right? Okay, one thing I think I didn't do. Let me see. Okay, last stream I forgot to do the door shot. I know, unbelievable. But last stream I failed to take my door shot attempt. And I used the door shot tracker up here as a tracker for how many games I have streamed in the season. So I need to do a makeup shot. And we're going to be doing that makeup shot here because, again, we need to keep the tracking on. I have done 3 watch-alongs thus far and would like to get the third one on the tracking there. So I missed the first game of the season. I did the Milwaukee game mostly. I did the San Antonio game in full, and I did the Houston game in full. So we're at 3 games. Let's take our third door shot attempt of the season. And this will be, thank you to you guys for being here because you might witness history. As a reminder, on official door shot attempts, I'm yet to make a shot on this net. So let's do it. Follow through. Follow through. Follow through. God damn it. Way too hard. Oh my god. One more try. One more practice. Well, it's been a season of good attempts up until that. The first 2 were mighty close, and that obviously wasn't. So I'm sorry. That was bad. That was really bad. Oh, man. Not even close today. We dropped to 0-3 on the season. We hope to hit 1 before we end it off. We hope to hit 1 before this season comes to a conclusion. Oh, my goodness. That was terrible. What am I doing wrong? What am I doing wrong? Like, the 1. You'd think 1 would fall in by now, but no. None. Not 1. Can't get 1 to fall. All right. Let's talk about the size issues with the team. I already hinted at it with the conversation about the things that are in their control, out of their control, and one of the things that is out of the control of the Raptors right now is the health of Jakob Poeltl, and he is so important to the team. Such drastic changes to win percentages when he's playing versus when he's not playing. In early season, we saw Jakob Poeltl playing very poorly. I think we can attribute a lot of that to the back issues that he's having. But part of the reason that this is something that we cannot address and we have no control over and is really hampering the team is because the front office has once again gone an entire offseason without addressing the pivotal need for backup rim protection. And it is biting them in the ass extremely early in the season. And this has gone on for far too long. The Raptors have gone from like one of the bigger teams in the NBA, not like from their centers, but they had just a very big, long team, to one of the smaller teams in the NBA. And it is a very large showcase of the lack of size in the team when Jakob Poeltl is missing from games. Jakob Poeltl protects the rim really well. Jakob Poeltl is a good defender when he's healthy, and when he's not playing, we have nobody else who can play that role in any way whatsoever. Like, we can go to the last game, like on top of defensive rim check, it's rebounding as well. We played against the Rockets the other day, who granted are a big team, which we would maybe struggle to deal with from a rebounding perspective, but like I don't think it should have been necessarily this bad against them. If we go to the team stats from that game, the Houston Rockets managed in that game 17 offensive rebounds to our 4, and the Rockets actually had 11 offensive rebounds in the first half compared to the 0 offensive rebounds in the first half for the Raptors. So size was a major factor, a major contributor to the loss here. The Rockets shot 57.5% from the field. There just wasn't a lot the Raps could do to stop them. If we want to look at points in the paint, they had 66 points in the paint. We only had 36. So size is a problem, and it's a problem that has once again gone an entire summer without being addressed. Like, since Serge Ibaka and Marc Gasol left, the Raps have brought in one NBA caliber rim protector, and that's Jakob Poeltl. So, like, how are we still doing this? You could go back to some of the drafts. Like, a lot of people will go to the most recent draft when they had the option to draft Kaman Malawach with the 9th overall pick. He's looked pretty good for the Phoenix Suns, but they decided to go with Colin Murray-Boyles. I'll be a defender of that because with any first-round pick, let alone a top 10 pick, you go with the player you think is the most talented. You go with talent over fit. And they believe Colin Murray-Boyles was the best player available. They took him. And he's looked good. And I support that. I support taking the best player available and worrying about the fit later. The one that really got away from it for me is the Jonathan Mobo pick, the 31st overall pick of the 2024 NBA draft. The Raptors had the opportunity. Everyone was big on Filipowski, which I never was, and I didn't miss taking on him. The one I think got away that draft was Adem Bona, who looks really good right now for the 76ers, from the perspective of him being a second-round pick. That's one that kind of got away, and Jonathan Mobo is like an end-of-bench rotation guy that doesn't really look at the caliber of the NBA. But like, if you go back to what I said on the most recent draft, I'm fine with taking talent over fit as long as at some point you address the need elsewhere. And once again, it's been an offseason where they haven't addressed that need. Like, I think it was a nice pickup to get Sandro Mamukelashvili because that brings some floor space and the Raptors don't have, and that's great. But you can't be this lost when you don't have Poeltl because you don't have the rim protection. And if you don't believe me on Poeltl's impact with the Raptors, I made a very bad, easy graphic to display the differences. Since the Raptors acquired Jakob Poeltl on February 9th, 2023, I hope this is accurate from StatMuse, but since the Raptors acquired Jakob Poeltl, the trade deadline, February 9th, 2023, they are 58-79 with him playing, which is a win percentage of .423, which you might think, that's not terrific, and it isn't. But their win percentage without him is .244. They're 13 of 45 when Jakob Poeltl does not play. So, very obviously, Jakob Poeltl is a very significant piece to the team. And I see in the chat here, Ryan K says, sad, Koloko could have solved every issue unless his blood clot issue. And then there was Jonte Porter, Ulrich Shamshe. And sure, these are examples of pieces that maybe could have amounted to something. Jonte Porter, I was never a big believer in, even before the gambling scandal. But Koloko and Shamshe, I think, had promise there. But then again, Koloko has gone to the Lakers since then, and you could definitely argue that the blood clot issue hampered his development a little bit, and his injuries hampered his development a little bit. Sure, but he hasn't exactly made any waves with the Lakers. Nothing suggests about his time with the Lakers that this would have been an answer to this problem that I am raising for this segment here. But at least there was maybe something there, and sure, but it's been a while since Koloko's left now. We haven't replaced him. Ulrich Shamshe is another one. Ryan in chat said, I think our front office believed in Ulrich. Some bad luck hits on his health. And for sure, extraordinarily bad luck on Koloko and Shamshe. But Shamshe going into this season, there was never going to be a reality this season that Ulrich Shamshe was going to be ready to get NBA minutes. So you could not and should not have gone to the season relying on him to provide this role that I'm suggesting that we don't have enough players who can fill. So as much as there's bad luck there, Koloko still doesn't look like truly NBA caliber, and Shamshe, there's no way he was going to be there this season. And if they had an idea about what his injury concern was in the offseason, they should not have ever had to rely on him. So there were misses there. There were misses there. Since the trades of OG, like we traded OG Anunoby and got smaller with Barrett and Quickley, haven't replaced him really. Siakam got traded, and we used those assets eventually to acquire Brandon Ingram. And look, Brandon Ingram's good. I don't think he's as good as Siakam, but Brandon Ingram is good. He is not as good of a defender as Pascal Siakam is. We didn't maybe lose size, but we lost defensive size there because Brandon Ingram's not as talented of a defender. So we just keep getting smaller while also not addressing the need for a backup rim protector. And for many years, it was like the Raptors got away sometimes with not having that rim protection because they had so many big players elsewhere. And now they don't really have that to fall back on. And it has presented this complicated situation where the defense, how are the Raptors supposed to put together any sort of good defense when Pirtle isn't playing? Like, we've seen firsthand when he's not playing well how bad the defense is. Like this season, the Raptors have given up 118, 122, 139, 121, and then 139 again. Like, they won the game, they conceded 118. And the scoring has been decent. They got 100 in every game, oftentimes way above 100. But the defense is putting them in a position where they cannot recover. They cannot get enough stops, and the offense is not good enough to make up for that. This is a team that came into the season with a defensive first mindset. This team was defense first, and they can't get stops. They can't. My goodness, what is their defensive rating this season? It's got to be bottom 10 defensive rating, surely. It's bottom 2. It's only better than the Brooklyn Nets, who have one of the worst rosters ever assembled. That is the only team worse than us on defense. We've played some good teams for sure, but it's only the Nets. We're in the same ballpark as Phoenix, who is like a Frankenstein's monster roster. It's so bad, so badly constructed. We're in the same ballpark as the Wizards, who are awful, the Pelicans, who are awful. This is the situation we're in. And offensive rating, we're middle of the pack. And that's not going to be enough to make up for the defense. We needed our offense to be okay and our defense to be good. That was what was going to make the Raptors successful this season. The defense, as of now, has been horrendous. And there's a lot of reasons why, but I think a very large one, again, is not having that backup rim protection there. K. Cedar in chat says, do you think still picking CMB over Collin was the right decision? I said it a little bit earlier on, but yeah. I support the Raptors taking the player they deem to be the most talented player available, and they said that was Colin Murray-Boyles. And I'm fine not addressing the need for a big at the draft, but they needed to address it elsewhere if they were not going to address it in the draft, especially when they had a very easy way to address it with a player that looked really good. If they weren't going to address it, then they needed to have addressed it at another time, and straight up, they didn't. And that's the big problem. So, I was, hoping for Malawatch because I thought he was a great player, and he fit a major hole in the roster. I'm okay. I don't see these guys as much as the scouts do, so I'm okay with the Murray-Boyles pick. And Murray-Boyles looks good, so, that's fine. It's just we also didn't fix it elsewhere. That is the problem. That is the problem. Van Hook joining us, says, haven't been here in a minute. Hope all is well. Yes, doing well. Blue Jays in the World Series, so can't complain. The Nets are actively trying to be worse. Yes, Van Hook, you're right. And that seriously is a joke of a roster, right? That is a joke of a roster. They're way behind us, granted. Their defensive rating is 129. Ours is 121. But still. Could have gotten a big in the second round too, but I think the big you could have gotten there probably also doesn't fix things. But then again, last season, a Dembona might have been, like I said, the one over Jonathan Mobo. So maybe come in. I don't know. For me in the second round, to be fair, this year's the second round. There were bigs, but none of them were like terrific defenders, really. There wasn't that rim protection piece that we were missing there. Whereas the Adebona draft, I think maybe there was a bit. I'm overselling him a little bit, but because I did want him, and he's not like the biggest. I think he's slightly undersized for the position as well. Yeah, he's 6'10", but still, he's been good for the Sixers. Filipowski, Maxime Reynaud, and others. Yeah, yeah, these guys are tall, but they also don't protect the rim. Like, Filipowski's a horrendous defender. Reynaud's not a good defender. So that didn't fix it either. They should have addressed it at some point over the last few years, and they haven't. Have any power forward center in your mind we should trade for? I talked about this in the offseason. I'm also Ryan K. I've never been high on Filipowski. I didn't want them to take him, but Jonathan Mobo just hasn't really worked out. I wasn't super keen on Mobo at 31, but gave him the shot, and it doesn't look terrific. I don't have one in mind. It's just it's hard to find rim protection. Every team kind of needs it. It's hard to piece together exactly what's out there the Raptors could trade for. Nothing really springs to mind when it comes to a trade that can be made. I don't know what that trade looks like, but it ain't my job. It's the front office got to make something happen here. Yeah, getting Mobo to do it. I mean, he's 6'6", 6'7". They value the switchability, and they thought they could work on his game. I mean, to a certain degree, I understand what they saw. It just the development hasn't quite worked out for him thus far. Like, I saw the vision. It seems to not be working here for sure. Charlotte did draft a lot of bigs. I mean, I don't know if that was the right call. They're starting Kalkbrenner, I think. But again, in the draft in the second round, I mean, I was live streaming it, and I remember saying a few times, like, none of these centers fixed the need or address this need either. They are big, but they don't address this need, and it's not a great fit still. It's like we got Gillespie and thought we cooked. I mean, we did cook with Gillespie. That the second half of the season, we had him in the Tampa season. He was like really good. It was, wow, this guy's amazing. We got him in a 10-day deal. And then I remember this so well. We watched him in preseason the next year, and we watched him in Summer League. And in Summer League, we were all kind of like, why is he playing like absolute shit right now? But we were like, okay, well, he was so good in the second half of last season. Let's give him more time. Let's not cut him here. And then he played in preseason, and we were like, wow, this guy is awful at basketball. Like, truly a horrendous player. Yeah, they had to cut him. He was terrible, but he was really good for a bit. I don't know what happened. Jane Chang and Chad, all of a sudden he's got butterfingers during preseason. I don't know what it was. He was just a disaster. Like, he couldn't finish anything. He was dropping passes. He couldn't play defense. Like, he was just all over the place, terrible. Van Hoos is Birch's bad knees too, and Thad is a backup center with bad knees too, and undersized. Yeah, Thad backup center was certainly an experience for a while, wasn't it? CMB is kind of backup center right now. That's not ideal either, is it? Oh my goodness. Even in 2026 draft, if we get a good pick, I don't even see a proper center in this draft. It doesn't have to be the draft is what I'm saying. You could find other ways to get these players, but they haven't. They haven't. I don't know. It's a problem I don't think they're gonna fix. It's just pray Jakob Poeltl. I'm not religious. Pray Jakob Poeltl gets healthy. Because we need him. Like, the discrepancy in win percentage. We go from a 42% win percentage to 24 when Jakob Poeltl is in versus out of the lineup. Oh, my God. I think Darko's a perfect guy for this year. We can get into the mix at the top of the draft. Wow. Disrespectful. We're not trying to be bad this year. We're trying to be good this year. Mark Williams. I don't think Mark Williams is happening. No. I don't see why the Suns would move from there. How about Malik Williams? Remember him? Man, as bad as Gillespie was, I think Malik Williams is the worst. I think Malik Williams is the worst player I've ever seen play for the Raptors. Some of the older crowd will probably have some names. Like you might throw out like a Bruno Caboclo. You might throw out like a Rafael Araujo or a Michael Bradley or something along those lines. But especially for the amount he was playing when we had him on those two 10-day deals, like I can't recall a player who was worse at basketball than Malik Williams. He could not. Baines was bad, but I'm being not like Baines was bad, and it's exaggerated how bad he was because of his contract and the expectations for him going into the season and what. Baines wasn't truly horrendous. He had some moments here and there. He had some basketball ability. Malik Williams, I truly saw none. I truly saw a player that I couldn't rely on to hit a layup, and he was 7 feet tall. I saw a player I couldn't rely on to get a rebound at 7 feet tall. Jalen McDaniel was bad, but seriously, he was better than Malik Williams. I'd play Jalen McDaniels over Malik Williams. I'd play Alex Len over Malik Williams. Alex Len's still in the NBA, isn't he? Malik Williams has not returned. I'm honestly surprised he's in the freaking G League still. I don't even know how he can hang there. I guess he's big enough. Alex Len is playing in Ukraine now. But for a while, Alex Len was in the NBA last year, wasn't he? Yeah, he was. Alex Len had 46 games played in the NBA last year. He's bad. We had Drew Eubanks for a day and cut him. Well, Drew Eubanks isn't pulling up any trees, but I guess he's better than some players that we've had. Drew Eubanks was in, if you don't know, the Thaddeus Young trade. He was the add-on in the trade that we got Thaddeus Young in. And Drew Eubanks got waived, I believe, a day later, and is definitely NBA caliber player for sure. Guys, Len and Baines were bad, but seriously, I would comfortably play both of them over Malik Williams. He was truly tragic. Bull. Fans are just intrigued by the what if. Bull. How could you not fall for the intrigue there? How many NBA teams played the what if game with Bull? What if he starts caring about basketball? What if he starts trying? 3 teams played that game, and all 3 lost that bet. Denver did when they drafted him. Orlando did when they got him, and then Phoenix did when they signed him. Moses Brown was actually a really interesting one for a while. It just turns out he was never that good, was he? He was with the Raptors briefly in Summer League. He is now with... Wikipedia doesn't even say who he plays for now. I guess he's still with the... Oh, he's still in the G League, it looks like. Still in the G League. Oh, he's a Denver Nuggets player, technically, on roster. So I guess he's a G Leaguer for the Denver Nuggets. Taco Fall. Taco Fall's got to be playing pro somewhere. What is Taco Fall up to? He is playing for the Ningbo Rockets in the Chinese Basketball Association. He's in the CBA. Good for him, man. Hey, there's a career in pro basketball beyond the NBA. He's in China, no joke. There was one player on the Shanghai Sharks I looked up and just happened to see play for the Shanghai Sharks recently. The Shanghai Sharks are the most blatant meme team. Like, I have to see it to believe it if this guy plays for the Shanghai Sharks. You know what I mean? What is the Shanghai Sharks' current roster? Let's see. They last played in April. Who played for Shanghai? DJ Wilson. That was it. DJ Wilson. Former Raptor. That's the one. DJ Wilson was a 10-day contract hero in the Tampa season, as many other players were. Jimmer Fredette, I don't know if he's still playing in China. Jimmer Fredette is like a Chinese basketball Hall of Famer. Jimmer Fredette was nasty in China. He was always a super talented player. The issue was Jimmer Fredette was a classic example of a player who came into the NBA who needed the ball in their hands to be good, but wasn't good enough to get the ball in their hands in the NBA and couldn't adapt to an off-ball style. So he went to China, where he could have the ball in his hands all the time, and he was disgusting. He was amazing. He had some amazing seasons in China because he could play his game. He could be Jimmer Fredette. That's the thing. This is fun. Montrezl Harrell plays for Gigantes de Carolina of the Baloncesto Superior Nacional. I butchered the pronunciation there. Who the fuck are the Gigantes de Carolina? With respect to this team, they play in the Puerto Rican League. Montrezl Harrell plays in the Puerto Rican League. Wow. Dwight Howard was on Dancing with the Stars, I think, last season. So I don't think he's playing basketball. Either last year, maybe even the season before. I don't watch. My fiance watches and likes when I watch with her. Yeah. He ain't playing pro ball no more. It's funny. Oh. I make fun of them, but there is career beyond the NBA. So let's not disrespect too much. Ibaka's trying to make a comeback to the NBA. He looked pretty washed the last time he played in the NBA, and that was a while ago now. So I don't know, man. Donovan Mitchell is somebody in chat said he's out. Jared Allen is, I think, out for this one. I'll just double check as we get you guys set for wrapping this one up and for the Cavaliers game. Let me see. Allen's out with a fractured finger. Yes, Donovan Mitchell ruled out. Donovan Mitchell confirmed out for the game. And still, the Cavaliers are favored by 6.5. Oh, actually, it's down to 3.5. So I was looking at it right as it was moving. It's down to 3.5. So Cavaliers still favored, but good chance for the Raptors to grab a win today. Okay. That is it from me, guys. I got nothing else. If there's any other questions, fire away. But that will do it for me today. Let's go Raptors. No watch along tonight because it is Game 6 of the World Series. The Jays are at home with a chance to win the championship. And it will settle in a lot more in the next 2 hours as we get up to game time. I really appreciate. I am not going to the game. I wish. I tried. I don't have the money for it. I wish. I am going to a friend's house. I'm meeting up with a bunch of friends to watch the game. I will be at the stadium. Or close to it as I can be, if the result goes our way tonight. But oh my God, we have a chance to do it. We have a chance. We have a chance to do it tonight, guys. I want that feeling again. Thank you guys for hanging out with me. I haven't said it enough today, but please, if you did enjoy, make sure you hit the like button. We got 40 people here. 11 likes. Get me to 20 before I sign off today. 9 more likes to get to where I'd like to be before I sign off. But thank you guys again. I appreciate it. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Blue Jays. I'll be back on Sunday for a watch along as the Raptors take on the Memphis Grizzlies. I'll be back here Monday for the Raptors Happy Hour, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. We take clips from these streams and put them in videos throughout the week. And when I'm available, which is going to start to be a lot more often now, I will be doing watch-alongs for the Raptors. Subscribe if you're new. Like the stream on your way out. Let's go Raptors. Let's go Blue Jays. I'll see you again very, very soon. And you know what I hope.